What's up, y'all? Nature Girl 30 here, and as of right now, I am recording this on June 30th, but tomorrow, we're 24 hours away from Money in the Bank, which is going to be hosted in London, England, and it's going to be 3 o'clock Eastern Time and 12 p.m. Pacific Time. So it's not going to really be shown at the usual hour. So I'm probably not going to be seeing this, but when I do see it later, I'm going to actually do a review on this and put my 2 cents about each of the matches. But I have decided, I haven't done this in a while, I am going to make a predictions video of each of the matches. As far as I know, there are no women's championship matches except for the tag match that's going to be on here. And of course, we have the Money in the Bank ladder matches. And then we have the IC Championship as well as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Those are the only 2 that I know of that are going to be on the line, as far as I know. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited and kind of interested in how this is going to go. So I'm definitely going to avoid as many spoilers as possible when I'm watching. Well, before I watch it, I'm definitely going to avoid a lot of spoilers. But I've decided that instead of starting off with the main event, I'm going to start with the IC Championship match with Gunther versus Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle just came back not that long ago. As great of a wrestler as he is, Gunther has done so much for the IC Championship. And there is a rumor going around that Ilya Dragunov might join Imperium. And I'm looking forward to that. For those who actually watch this channel, y'all know I'm a big fan of Imperium. I'm a big fan. They will always be Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner to me. They will not be Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vici. No, I'm sorry. I will always love their old names. But regardless, I want them to be a dominant faction. We really do need a dominant faction in the WWE, and they're definitely one of them. Especially now that they're starting to go international. They're the best representation. That's just me personally. So even though a part of me thinks that maybe Matt Riddle is going to dethrone Gunther, and I think it'll be a bad idea having Matt Riddle do it, even though he's a great wrestler, I want Gunther to retain. So I'm just going to put it out there, and I believe that Gunther is going to retain his championship, but Matt Riddle is going to definitely put up a strong fight. Okay, moving on to Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio. Dominic has definitely improved over the years when it came to his promo work, when it came to developing heat. The guy can get nuclear heat on, like, it's after his fight with his dad, even though his dad won, he still gets heat everywhere he goes. He's definitely a heat magnet, but in a good way. But do I think he's going to beat Cody? No freaking way. Cody's got to remain strong going up against Roman Reigns next year. That's the plan for WrestleMania. Him facing Roman Reigns. If he gets beat by Dom, that's it. It's going to make him look weak all the way through. So I highly doubt that Dominic Mysterio is going to beat Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes is definitely going to come up the winner in this. Okay, let's move on to the women's tag team match. And this is actually supposed to be unified as far as I know with the NXT women's tag match as well as the main belt tags, women's tag belts. I think that they're unified now. I don't think they have a new design yet, but either or. It's Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. I don't really think I need to talk about this, y'all. We kind of know who's going to win here. It's definitely going to be Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Because let's be honest, we need dominant heels to take those titles. And even though Shayna and Nia Jax, when they had it, somehow it was somewhat taken seriously. So I really do think that Ronda and Shayna need to have it a little bit longer. Liv has had her run. And it's sad how they booked her to where that she has to literally all over again build it right back up from scratch. And I feel really bad for her because she had an amazing build towards her getting the title and Money in the Bank, but I just don't see it with her being tagged with Raquel's got a long way to go. Her character is kind of stale and boring to me. I know she's trying to flex and she's like an Amazon, but I just don't really see it. She's like, usually when you see somebody flex their back, you can see every muscle. You can't really see that with her. And honestly, I think they need to have a new gimmick with her. It just doesn't work. She's kind of boring. Liv can be incredibly entertaining, but how she was built really did diminish her. And honestly, her being in a tag with anybody is not a good idea. Raquel really needs to build herself and find her own name and brand on her own. And Liv, she definitely needs to be booked better. I don't really see them being tag champs. I don't see them being Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Like I said, I really don't need to go further into this. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey will retain the championships. Okay, I'm gonna skip Finn's and Finn and Seth Rollins' match for a second. I'm gonna go into the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Okay, these ladder matches are somewhat predictable. The women, there are only two. Now I'm going to go into the women's 2023 Money in the Bank ladder match. Okay, when it comes to two women, well, I'm just going to put the opponents out there. The opponents is Io Shirai, Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, and also Bayley. Those are the only 6 women in the match. To be honest with you, we can pretty much count Zelina Vega out. She's had her moment when she was in Puerto Rico. I think that's as far as she can go. I do not see Bayley winning it. I don't. I see Bayley kicked out of the group of Damage Control more so than her ever winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. So as much as I would love for her to be Bayley, I can't see that. Zoe Stark, definitely not. Io Shirai and Becky Lynch are the only two that I can believe that can win the Money in the Bank briefcase. It doesn't make any sense for Trish to win. It doesn't. It's just, if they actually have her win, it's going to be a swerve. They're doing it to keep the match from being too predictable. So that's the only person that I can see that could be a wild card in this. Just for the sake of swerving the crowd and keeping the crowd interested in watching. But I don't see her winning just because she can. I really don't. I honestly see more Becky Lynch or Io Shirai winning. But I'm just going to make it like this. As for the wild card win, I'm going to put Trish Stratus on it. For the main win, that's the hard part. Honestly, I'm going to say Becky Lynch because they're definitely going to push Becky Lynch into possibly a match between her and Rhea. I honestly see that. So I'm going to say Becky Lynch for the win, but for the wild card, it's definitely going to be Trish Stratus. Oh boy, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now I'm going to say this is actually pretty hard because they're these guys here, except for Logan Paul, and I'm like, good Lord, I wish he wasn't in this. But anyway, there are at least 4 guys that I can imagine winning here. I can definitely see Damian Priest win this because let's be honest, everybody on his team has won a title. Everyone there has won a title. We can say that Finn Balor was the first Universal Champion. Dom, even though he doesn't have a belt around his waist currently, he was a tag champ with his dad before he started hating him. Rhea Ripley is now the women's champion. So honestly, and Damian Priest, I think, was the North American champion before coming to NXT, before coming to main roster. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But he's actually been a champion on NXT, but not on the main roster. And I could be wrong on that. If I am, leave in the comments below. I honestly see him. I see LA Knight winning. And I hate to say it, but Logan Paul keeps trying to pay his way into things. The guy is going out of his way to make himself look good. Mainly, but I'll say this. He hasn't won anything yet. He will get some nuclear heat. Probably go home heat. Except for the 15-year-olds that still like him. If he wins Money in the Bank, it's not going to do him any favors. He's trying his best because everyone knows about the Japan incident. He's trying to erase that and make himself look good. The guy's making millions upon millions from his brands. He doesn't really need this, but he just likes the experience. Butch, as much as I would love Pete Dunne, and I'm calling him Pete Dunne instead of Butch, as much as I would love Pete Dunne to win this, I don't see it. I definitely don't see Ricochet, and I don't know if that's Mansoor or not. I don't know who that other guy is, and I feel bad that I should know, but I don't know. The thing is that I honestly do see 2 guys. And I said I saw 4. Well, there's also Shinsuke Nakamura, but there's also a possibility of 4. There's a possibility of Ricochet, possibility of Shinsuke, possibility of LA Knight, and a possibility of Damian Priest. While Damian Priest actually looks more like the guy that is going to take the match, because I mean, he has had an incredible build as of late. Wait, that was Santo Escobar? Okay, my bad. That's how much I don't really care much about the LWO. I don't really care much about that group. They're a bunch of losers in my opinion anyway. And they kind of are. They haven't really won that much. I'm not really being facetious. But anyway, the fact is, I honestly do see LA Knight or Damian Priest winning this. I really want it to be LA Knight, but they really haven't done LA Knight any favors. They really have not. They have built Judgment Day to the nth degree with everybody. Judgment Day are those ones right now. The Usos are the ones too, but they are that one. They are those ones as well. So I'm honestly seeing that if Damian Priest takes the Money in the Bank briefcase and Finn Balor, this is just a prediction, and if Finn Balor takes the belt from Seth on the same night, bet you he's going to cash in on Finn Balor, and then they're going to kick him out the group for the next Raw. That's my prediction right there. I'm just going to throw that out there as a wild card. If Damian Priest wins, he's going to cash it in that night against Finn. Take the belt from Finn Balor, and they're going to kick Finn out the group. And Finn's going to go on his own. I wish it would be LA Knight, but LA Knight hasn't had much of a build lately. He hasn't had much of a push. I see more of Damian Priest, especially with the fallout between him and Finn Balor. It's going to go down to where he's going to take the title away from him. And honestly, they're going to kick him out the group, only having him down as 3. I honestly can see that. I really can. But I guess my vote for winning is definitely going to be Damian Priest. Now let's go to the Civil War match, the Bloodline Civil War match with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos. This is not going to do anybody any favors because no belts are on the line. This is just for bragging rights. I don't really know how, the Bloodline is pretty much dead in my eyes. They've already had broken up when the Usos lost their championships, and even though I believe they screwed up night 2, and that's my opinion on that, the fact is that this isn't going to do any justice for Solo Sikoa. It's not. Roman don't even need it. The Usos don't need it. Solo needs it more than anyone else. But can y'all honestly see that Roman and Solo are going to win after everything they built up the Usos to be? No. You know how big of a pop it was when Jay turned on him? A huge pop. So why in the world will they go backwards and have Roman and Solo win? That is going to deflate the entire crowd. They are trying to hype up everything overseas. They don't care about the US no more. They want to make sure the overseas crowds get what they want to get so they can come over there again and make more money. It will be dumb on their end if they decide to have Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa beat the Usos. That would be stupid on their end if they do that. So in my opinion, the Usos is going to beat the ever-loving crap out of Roman and Solo. Unless Solo, they're going to have a swerve here. Unless Solo is going to portray Roman and then be on the side of his brothers. That's the only way. And honestly, it's funny how I think Sami Zayn even mentioned that. But regardless, that's the one thing I'm going to see. He's going to turn on his tag team partner and side with the Usos. Because technically, they all family. They are brothers. So honestly, y'all, I see the Usos winning with Solo Sikoa turning on Roman Reigns, ending the bloodline for good. Okay, guys. Let me go back to one last match because I actually did talk about the main event, but I am going to talk about the World Heavyweight Championship match with Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. Now, I just mentioned in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match that if Finn wins the title from Seth Rollins, he is going to lose it that night. He is going to have the same exact experience that he had when he won the Universal Championship. Remember, guys, that is the overall theme of this match. The overall theme of this match is the fact that Seth Rollins injured Finn Balor to the point where he could not continue to reign with his belt. He had to give it up, and he never got it back since. And even though the crowd hijacked that night and completely ruined the moment, screw you, crowd, the fact is, that's the overall theme of this whole match. The fact that Seth took an opportunity away from him. He was the first ever champion, but in that match, the first ever Universal Champion, but in that match, Seth did that move. He actually picked him up and threw him against the barricade, busted his shoulder, and he had to give up the title. Imagine this, the same exact thing happening to him, but instead of an injury, it's going to be a betrayal. Seth is going to lose the belt that night. As much as I love Seth Rollins and what he has done with the World Heavyweight Championship, this is a good story. This is a really good story. You can imagine Finn finally having the belt, but then all of a sudden, he gets blindsided by Damian Priest handing the briefcase, which takes about maybe 5 or 10 hours in a day for the ref to understand, yeah, I want to pass this over. And then when it finally happens, he beats the crap out of Finn, pins him 1, 2, 3, takes the title away from him, and runs. And then on Raw, Finn acknowledges the fact that he lost, but he also calls out Damian Priest. The rest of Judgment Day comes out, and then everybody gives him the thumbs down, and he's done. I can see that happening. And honestly, that's more entertaining to me than having somebody leave the champ. I would rather Finn Balor have the belt in his hands for that few seconds, only for it to disappear. Because that's gonna rekindle the fire in him that he had a long time ago that unfortunately got extinguished when the demon got extinguished. I'm hoping that we don't really see him in demon paint. I am hoping that we just see him with like a fire in his eye and rage just beat people down. We need that old Finn back. And I know a lot of people miss Prince Devitt. I think there's probably traces of Prince Devitt that's going to be in this match. But to be honest with you, I really do want that to happen. I want Finn to actually touch the gold, but then lose it in a split second. That's an amazing story. And I'm hoping that that will happen. So I guess my prediction is going to be that Finn Balor is going to beat Seth Rollins, but he's not going to maintain the title because he's going to lose it. He's going to lose it to Damian Priest that very night. But anyway, guys, those are my predictions for Money in the Bank 2023. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Which match you're gonna think is which match do you guys think is the match of the night? What are your predictions for Money in the Bank 2023? I want to know in the comments below. If you like what I'm saying, if you guys like my reviews as well as my predictions, please subscribe to my channel. And also, guys, stay tuned to the review that's going to be coming up once I watch Money in the Bank 2023. Other than that, y'all, I am done here. I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.